Hello there, I am Jillian Kirkeide. I am the music therapist for our Princeton, Minnesota branch. I've been with the company since 2017, so approximately 4 years, and I've been board certified and practicing music therapy since 2014. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about heartbeat recordings. It's something I started doing in 2018 with hospice patients, and I've been doing them ever since. They are an amazing legacy for the family of the patient, but they're also a super fulfilling project for the patient themselves, and it really just is a nice message to leave behind for the families to be able to listen to that heartbeat. Before we jump in too far, I do want to give credit where credit is due. This intervention was actually invented by a music therapist named Brian Schreck. You can find him on Google and YouTube. He has some really great videos talking about the heartbeat recordings, and he started doing those in hospitals, and then the idea has been shared throughout the music therapy world, and a lot of other music therapists have started using this as an intervention as well, because it's just so amazing and unlike anything else. So without much more ado, let's jump in. Alright, so this heartbeat recording sounds pretty awesome. So I want to talk to you a little bit about our steps and how we get into it with patients and kind of what I do next. I do want to start by saying that there are times where doing this project is contraindicated. It's not for everybody. So I would definitely encourage, who's ever making the referral, whether it's the nurse case manager, the social worker, or myself, that we get to know the patient a little bit first. I know sometimes there's time constraints doing what we do, but just to kind of be aware that sometimes it isn't a great fit. But once we do find that patient who is a good fit, there's a couple next steps. I usually will spend some time talking to the patient and the family about what to expect, what it looks like, and then we go ahead and set up a time to get it done. I do appreciate the times I've been able to coordinate with nurses, because you guys are awesome at finding heartbeats, which shouldn't be surprising, but not something that I spent a lot of time learning in music therapy school, so I always appreciate a nurse's help with that. If not, I have been able to get the heartbeat on my own, but it's always quicker with your guys' help. So what I use is this here microphone that I've kind of modified. It's actually got a little, stethoscope I should say, that I modified, and then it's got a microphone going into it. So what I do then is plug it into my iPad and into a program. Okay, so now I have our stethoscope mic hooked up to my GarageBand program, which is what I use just to capture the sound of the heartbeat. And then myself or a nurse will help me find a good heartbeat. The nurse usually uses their own stethoscope to listen to it. For me, I kind of place the stethoscope or where the heart would be, and then I look on my screen, and you can kind of see the line going up and down because it's picking up that heartbeat. So once I see that that's happening, I go ahead and hit record, and I record approximately 10 to 12 seconds of that heartbeat. Now I've got the heartbeat recorded. You'll hear on the iPad speakers it usually doesn't sound like too much at first, but as long as I can tell that I've got 3 to 4 or 5 good clear heartbeats in there, that's enough for me to use. So now that I've got that collected, I go ahead and bring it home and do the next step. Okay, so I've brought our heartbeat home and loaded it into my recording program, or producing program. And I went through and listened to it and found a section where I have some really clear heartbeats, where I'm not hearing breaths necessarily, or any movement of the stethoscope itself. So it's a little bit hard for you to hear through the computer speakers, but I'm going to go ahead and edit this and do some producing and show you what it sounds like afterwards. I've spent some time working with the heartbeat and editing it and producing it into something that's a little more audible and something that we can use to play a song over. I'm going to show you what I got. So this is what we've got. This right here is the kind of original heartbeat that I recorded, and if you look down in this box here, you can see there's lots of different little bars of sound, and that would be my breath and the sound of the stethoscope moving, those kinds of things, which is typical. You'll find that, or I'll find that in any patient that I do this with. So that's just kind of how it is. And when I do this project, I do like to include just a little clip of that right before the song starts, because it's just a nice way for the family to hear the heartbeat as it is. And then I have it go into, you can see here, I've been able to make it so there's a heartbeat on each beat right there. So it's a little more even, and we've gotten rid of all of that extra kind of noise and background noise and sound. And then I've also used a couple different methods to make the heartbeat a little bit louder and a little bit deeper. So this is what we're going to hear. So that's the original heartbeat. And that's with a little bit of production in there. And that's going to create a nice basis for our song. The next step now is to record that song to match up to that heartbeat. And this is the part I always work with the family on. And once we start going on this, the family usually is pretty good at coming up with an idea of a really special song to them. So I've done everything from Amazing Grace to a Fleetwood Mac song. One of my favorite ones that I did was the song Radioactive by Imagine Dragons, because it was a younger gentleman that loved that song. It was important to him because he had gone through cancer treatments, and him and his brother used to tell each other they were radioactive. So that was his special heartbeat song. So I'm gonna pop over and record a song quick and kind of show you what the end product will look like. So now I've gone ahead and recorded a guitar track and a singing track, a vocal track. If this was something I was going to share with a patient, if this was their heartbeat and their project, I would, if I could, let them have a little bit of input on, you know, would you like to have guitar? Would you like to add strings? Would you like to have some kind of, you know, anything else in there? I know another one of our music therapists, Claire Klein, has had family involved in actually singing on the track, which is pretty neat. So I try to really customize it as much as I can. So today I used a song called Rainbow by the singer Casey Musgraves. It's I think a very beautiful song, and so I thought I would use that one for my own heartbeat recording, which is what we will be listening to. So I'll just hit play and show you what we've got. The first couple seconds are going to be, again, that kind of just raw heartbeat that we originally took, and then you're going to hear it start with the produced heartbeat, and then the music will start. So I'll show you a few seconds of that. So there you have it. That's just a little overview on the heartbeat recording, what it might sound like, and the process I use to make the heartbeat recording. As far as sharing it with the family, I usually give them some options. I can share it as an MP3 track, I use CDs, and I also can upload it to YouTube using a private link as well. So we talk about that and figure out the best way to share that with family. And I've even been able to have family use it for memorial services. The patient who I mentioned earlier that requested radioactive, I was able to get that to the family right as the patient was actively dying, and the mom told me that she was listening to that song all night while she was at his bedside. So it just is a really powerful intervention to use with patients. So I hope you enjoyed this little summary or explanation of heartbeat recordings. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me or anybody on the team, and they will send your questions my way. But hopefully we can keep doing many more of these. Thanks!